Hi, Patriots. Topics discussed are as follows: the Antarctica, Cabal War situation, the Facebook blackout, Three Gorges Dam, and he has really good footage, Mexico earthquake, and then there was a battle. He's going to talk about that. The dome cleanouts, locations, and progress. So, Gene has lots of good intel to share. So, here we go.
Here, there are some nasties been here for a very long time, and they're starting to get their hindsight handed to them. And the biggest nasties, the Chittahooly, the white primes of them, have booked off planet and left Antarctica. And so base 211 was completely, they tried to blow it up as much as they could, but the Alliance got in there and they got set up, and they're building craft now at a breakneck speed to help with keeping our solar system locked down. That's really, really exciting because they've had to repel waves of all kinds of other nasties wanting to come in. You know, when you create a vacuum, one nasty has gotten out of there, that somebody else wants to come take their place, right? So we had a bunch of the ant types try to come in on a massive onslaught, and they repelled that. They just used numbers. And then there was a Matry that tried to come in, and they through the sun gate, and then the door side tried to come in through the sun gate, and they're with the help of a really lot of great individuals that joined that I met prior to the Artemis Accords. I wasn't there. I just was giving information along with one other gentleman that I've actually done interviews with was there that I know, who's Joshua Shapiro. He was there too, giving ground information to help the Alliance in the Artemis Accords with the really nice people that showed up to help the humanity and everything on Earth to kick the hindsight out of the cabal, and they're playing their last playing card with a stupid biological weapon they call something you put in your arm that supposedly helps you, that's creating all kinds of terrible stuff going on. The people that are having kids, there's deformities, really terrible stuff going on. It's huge, and people don't understand how huge that was to be for that to have happened. And what happened was they deleted many pages of code. I mean, it didn't just go down. They wiped out pages of code from Facebook. Facebook couldn't even do that. It means that they hit every DNS, because there's multiple redundancy through multiple servers, DNS servers all over the earth. They hit them all at once, all of them, and deleted the same code everywhere on Earth at the same time. That is a massive operation. That's Space Force and a lot of things coming down. And I mean, it's a shot over the bow of the cabal saying that, yeah, you want to use the stuff in the arm to upload everybody and control them into the black web, into the dark web. We can delete it. We can delete the entire web if we want.
Okay, so dumbasses like me understand exactly what you just said.
Well, me too. I'm not too smart. This is techie advice and information. I don't, it took me a while of reading it to understand it.
but what they did is what you're saying, that they wiped out pages of code that was going to be used to control us?
Yeah, the Facebook. All the truthers know that it's just a mine for your personal data and all the information on you. So yeah, what they did is they deleted a lot of that information and the ability to do that. And so then, they can still load people up onto the dark web, but it's the Alliance saying, if you do that, we can wipe out the dark web. We could wipe out any part of the web instantaneously, worldwide. Multiple redundancy does not matter. We can hit it so fast worldwide that it'll all be gone in the blink of an eye. So they can take out that, and they can take out all the cryptocurrency. All of that is founded, the majority of it, like Bitcoin and all that, is from China. The 52% controlling of Bitcoin is from China. It was located under Three Gorges Dam, which is mostly gone from my information and what I'm seeing. You can't see the dam through Google Earth anymore. You see an old picture with it nice and straight. We know it had like a triple S bend in it. Those are old pictures. And so I looked at a weather satellite system at it that just shows you the vector flow of the water going into the Three Gorges, and it goes right past Three Gorges it just goes up slightly and goes at the same speed, no change in speed. It goes up and goes right down through the below the dam, like it didn't even slow down at all. So I mean, there is massive probability that a majority of that dam is gone, if not all of it. There are some of the bases, you know, they established them initially using neutron bombs on the back of a particle beam dropped device that detonates at a certain depth depending on what they're expecting. So like if you're above oil fields, like in Texas, they're doing 3 and 5 because you don't want to detonate in an oil you know, big amount of oil, and they would lose all that oil, so they go shallow. But usually they use, if you look at USGS, it's 10 kilometers when they built them back in the 40s, and then you see them being taken out now at the same place at the same depth. It actually equates to 33,000 feet, because you know how they love that number. They just go on and on about that number, and so that's their symbol for that. And now they're taking those out, but that's the first infrastructure. Then they continue to get as the old ones, like the ones they made back in 47, 48, 50, 52. They've been getting those deeper and deeper. Then you have old ones from non-terrestrial negative types, like the Chittahooly, like Shasta and Mount Blanca and the Great Sand Dunes area under that in Colorado and the San Luis Valley. That's ancient. So that stuff goes deep, way down. Some of it goes all the way to the center of the earth, like Pine Gap. They're working on that from both ends. The Agarthans and the Tollans and several other, quite a few other groups are coming from the inside up, and then from the top side down, they're down to about the 23rd level down. So you can imagine if you started at 10K, but that thing's been there a long time, how far down they've developed that, because that's one of their primary things. You know, the same thing with base 211 or New Schwaberland. That went all the way through too. So it's this, you know, developing the stuff, they go all the way down and just dig and keep going, you know, with boring machines, with nuclear devices going another 33K below that, and then they do the infrastructure for that. They go to another 33 below that, and on and on and on. And they just keep going, where you can see how much water suddenly started coming down below the Three Gorges.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet. It's going to really come in. I would call it catastrophic failure.
Oh my God.
That's a lot of water.
Yeah.
It's way higher than cars.
Wow.
That's a big boat. It sure takes that thing like nothing.
Wow. Oh my God.
Broke it out, it's tied up. Look for the boys. Folded it up and left. Bigger yet.
Yeah, it's hard to hear.
It's just music they're playing, so I'll turn the music down so I can talk.
Yeah, it's hard to hear you talk. Yeah, there you go.
You can actually see a tree come up here. It looks like a person up like that one. So you can just see the mass. I mean, this is the cars are just being lifted up. It was higher over them. It took those big boats and broke them from their moorings, like they weren't even their side of Puerto Rico. All of that and all of this area through the, you know, the Virgin Islands down through Epstein's and Richard Branson's stuff. You know, all of this stuff down in here. That's deep stuff. Now you're getting where they're doing, but you also have the shallow stuff like under Guadalupe and all of that, where they're trafficking kids into these big facilities like you have here in Puerto Rico. So you can see there, they're clearing that mess out too. And then if you go over to the Middle East, it becomes really obvious again. And like I was saying, from Rome, the Vatican Dome, how did that thing run? It ran up through Albania, then went down through this part of Greece, and then splits and goes this way, and it splits and goes down to Jerusalem. And then another branch goes through the Isle of Crete. You know, you can see them clearing out.
It looks
that.
like Africa is almost untouched.
Yeah, they're not yet working on Africa other than surrounding.
Look, it's like completely untouched.
Yeah, because Africa is the worst of the worst. It's the worst, most evil place, the dome underneath South Africa. This is a dome, all of this. And the deepest part is right here. It goes all the way to center earth underneath Lesotho. So they're isolating it now.
So that you're saying the worst of the worst is Africa.
Yep. You heard about the number of children, like some, you know, people were saying in the millions, like the spider's nest, they called it, the spider web that the couple were putting out, talking about the millions.
Yeah.
Magnitudes more in South Africa, magnitudes more. When I can't even tell the numbers. People would say that's impossible.
So why aren't we there to clearing out those tunnels and those domes?
First, you've got to isolate it. It's like if you're going to take an enemy out, you got to make sure they can't flee and put up in another base somewhere else. So you've got to isolate it. So if you go back a year ago, you'll see that they isolated coming in this way through underneath Madagascar, through the islands here, the Mayotte, Moroni, all of this has been isolated. They've also isolated, they put dumps through under waterways, because under waterways, under big rivers, with the exception of the Colorado River, or bigger rivers deep down that flow slowly to the ocean. And so they use those, they put a submarine system. Submarines can come in, hook up to the dam and reverse power and power the dam for 20, 30 years on nuclear power. So they're isolating these dumps and these inner locations going up these big waterways. And so the same here, you're cutting off flow. So like through Morocco, going up under the Gibraltar, they're isolating things. They're cutting it off, coming under Tunisia, coming in from Iran, and through these areas and here. And I mean, how many times do I click and I keep seeing 10 kilometers? I mean, how many 10-kilometer earthquake? What? Because they can't get the right depth. Well, then there's 10 kilometers. But then if we look, if they can't get the right depth, you can't get the right depth. You can't get the right depth. And how come you get the depth for some of them? I mean, yeah, the majority all at 10 kilometers, right? You got the big one here. That's not 8. That's the main base. Notice they got the depth on that one. 8.7. Yeah. That's a higher level up. That now all of these 10s, right? And then you can see the tunnel goes off this way, going down through this island. You can see how they run the tunnels. It becomes really obvious. There's your main base. There's your maglev tunnel going out, going that way. So what do we see if we go that way? We go right down, and you're going right down to Al-Maraj and Benghazi. You see how the line goes straight?
Yeah.
Yep. And you have branches. You can see the branches as you go, so it becomes really obvious. So if we go up to the one from Rome, from Vatican, it went from Rome, it went through Albania, and when they got into Albania and they looked, I can't find my mouse, hold on, Mousy, where are you? Here mouse. Okay, there it is. Okay, sorry about that.
That's all right.
So this is where they found in Albania, in Kruge, once they cleared the gold out, that went for over 150 miles. It was $34.7 quadrillion in gold. Took many, many big, huge Galaxy Air Force craft to remove it all.
Out of the Vatican?
Yep. From the Vatican all the way.
When did they do this? When did they take the gold out?
Over the last, not this month, but if you go back from last month all the way back for 8 months.
And where are they taking the gold?
Back to the places it came from, because after they found that, they found ledgers, because the cabal loves to gloat. So they kept careful track of who they stole everything from for thousands of years, countries that don't even exist.
So they're giving it to the rightful owners of the gold.
Yep, like Vietnam and Thailand and the Philippines that Marcos helped loot.
I heard this started happening when Trump was president, right? When he got in, they went in, they excavated all the gold out of the Vatican.
Exactly. So here once they got the gold out of the way, they found another tunnel system that goes to Geneva, Switzerland. And in that, they're estimating, they're blowing doors and going up in through Herzegovina and Bosnia and going all the way up and going in and, seeing the different tracks that it goes. And it goes all the way up into Switzerland. So it goes all the way up here and goes into Geneva. And they're estimating that it's in the septillion dollars range of gold. So, this is the tunnel system going underneath the Alps, going over to Geneva and Bern. This part of the branch goes straight to Bern. And so they're estimating that that's in the septillion dollars. There's another branch coming in this way, as you can see. The 3, 5, and 10. And then, of course, in Myanmar, they've already been dealing with that. They're dealing with child trafficking. So they have tunnels for trafficking children going through Turkey, where they come and they go under the Black Sea. And so they come through and they go, out that way, and then go through Afghanistan and that's now under the Taliban's control, and they're still fighting like crazy. The cabal sending in the ISIS, trying to take the Taliban back out. So you've got really massive, deep, old stuff, because you're in the Middle East here. This stuff is old.
Those tunnels are thousands upon thousands of years old, right?
So now they've been layering it deeper and deeper and deeper. And so, and that stuff's to traffic children from all of this impoverished area. And then they're going
children, for my audience, children are the commodity.
Yes.
That's the value right there, right? I mean, that's like the currency.
And, Myanmar military taking back Myanmar, they took out the Golden Triangle. So that means the poppy fields were burned. And so you can see the tunnels that go up into China to take the children and all of the heroin and all of that stuff from the poppies and all that stuff and opioids and all that stuff that they're making and trafficking and going into China for the CCP. And then the Taliban takes out Afghanistan. Well, what was that? That's the last opioid source on earth. The poppy fields, they were being special forces guys I know said, I didn't join the special forces to protect the Taliban to grow poppies.
Yeah.
Yep. And now that's all burned, but they're obviously not taking care of the poppies. They're running the country and fighting the ISIS elements that are the fake wink and blink and nod administration is saying, right. They're doing this and that. No. You can guarantee whatever the fake wink and blink and nod administration of Smokey Joe and I call him Nod because he's just Nod man. And then you got Blinken Harris or Winkin Harris and Blinken in there. So, I mean, this is, they're taking all of the trafficking and you can see the line. I mean, it becomes obvious like that one I showed you up in here.
I'm curious, how does Mexico look?
I mean, look at that go down. I mean, is this not obvious? I mean, it's very like obvious. An arrow and they're all, I mean, come on. And then you go to port, right? And get the kids on container ships.
How bad is Mexico, Gene?
Mexico's actually being cleaned up a bit too. So the wall that they put in, and they're also cleaning out other places coming down the St. Lawrence Seaway. That's a submarine tunnel going. So you got to be a bit deeper there because that's old. And then coming into the big harbors and things like that. So you can see here.
So we've just been infestated. Like this is just an infestation.
Yeah. Exactly. And so they're isolating things going across the borders, like you see here, tunnel systems. You could see the systems. And especially in Oklahoma and places, you didn't tell Trump got in. You never even saw an earthquake in there.
Right.
I mean, this part of Oklahoma,
wow,
earthquakes there for 150, 200 years. Now
it's plagued with them.
Yeah. And what are all these negative values? 0 on the surface, an earthquake right on the surface. That's called blowing a tunnel door, going in, right?
Yeah.
Quarry blast. This is a large quarry. This is a pretty huge quarry. Wow. I mean, this quarry is this long. It goes from Tulsa almost all the way up to Charlottesville. I mean, to Claremont. Yeah. Claremore. That's a large quarry. Are you kidding me? I don't buy it. Sorry, I don't buy it. It goes all the way down here. Sure it does. Talk to somebody who grew up there. See if they know a quarry that goes through that entire area. And all of that's negative values. Sure it is. So, and down here too.
Gene, do you feel, with this Facebook going dark and where this is all headed, do you think the EBS will have to be used?
With what they're doing, it may not be necessary. If they can control the internet now, like they just showed, why would they? My question is, they might want to, but would they need to?
Right.
I don't know the inner workings. I'm not a techie guy, but that's a lot of technological tech power that was utilized to do that. I mean, here's an obvious base. I mean, really, really obvious.
Yeah, that's right next to me, right there. Where is that? That's next to Van Horn, it looks like.
Yeah, that's near Toya and Pecos, coming out of Pecos. And they often run on highways too, because the rumbling of traffic keeps the vibration of the maglevs going by not obvious.
Well, that makes sense.
Yup, it all makes complete. I'm like I said, often runs on highways. You can see it. So why are you here? Because what do you have here? You got to wait traffic children coming across the border and take them into the country. That's what you have. So that's why you're seeing that here. And what do you have here? Same thing coming under here, going to here. I mean, it gets kind of obvious. And why is it going there? Because it's going this way, coming down to here. And into this area.
Right.
And if you use raspberry swirl, you can actually see really good water penetrating radar. You can see some amazing, interesting features in this area. There's what I call the coat hanger base. It looks literally like a coat hanger imprint on the bottom of the ocean. And so, I'll be doing.
Oh, I see it right there. Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's all kinds of weird things like that going on. And, you have these huge, like in Mexico, they had a huge earthquake. And they're saying that, there was all of these, let me get back, unshare screen here. There was an earthquake in Mexico City. And you had earthquakes. And they're saying, it's what's called the trumpet. It's part of what they used the Alliance has it now to take down the trade towers.
Right.
And so the explanation for this of these many is static discharge due to the fact that Mexico City is built on a swamp and it's settling into the swamp. People that sent me this said that he's lived there all his life when the big one hit Mexico and they had to go claim some of their family in the big, open coliseums to identify the bodies. This didn't happen then. He's lived there all their life and had earthquakes. Just never saw this lightning discharge in different colors.
Are you trying to share the screen right now, or are you not?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to.
Okay.
Let me share this. This is pretty amazing too. I've actually been in this hotel. It's in Mexico City.
Okay, let's see it.
Exactly where this is.
And what happens here?
This is the earthquake that just happened in Mexico. And there's ships trying to get out of the dawn.
Oh, wow.
And Space Force is taking them out with the trumpet technology, light rockets.
Oh, man. What is that, Gene? Although like electrical discharges.
This area is a dump tunnel entrance. You're going to see some pretty big explosions of craft trying to get out. In this area, there it was, right there. You'll see they're different colors, which is based on the charge and the frequency. You hear that trumpet sound. That's part of the light oil cannon trumpet system. So I'll play it one more time so everybody can get it.
Oh, yeah, there's no way that's natural right there.
Oh, it's just not natural.
So the earthquake was occurring right at this moment or afterwards? Oof.
This is occurring during it. You can hear
Wow.
it.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Wow. So they're actively taking out the tunneling system right there.
And ships coming out of it.
A ship's coming out, and
Yep, they're
so that's a
active.
surface level bomb, right? That what you were trying to say earlier.
Ships are escaping in stealth, like the one you saw way up high,
Right.
way up in this area up here. The ship got up, and a Space Force asset took it out way up in the clouds up here. And why is there always clouds when there's earthquakes? I mean, isn't that interesting? You have this big star system, because when you're activating trying to get ready to activate star drive, and all these propulsion systems that these craft use generates a high charge, and it's at different frequencies depending on the size and the vibrational, resonant level. So you get different discharges. If this was transformers being taken out by the earthquake, that's why they had to use static discharge. You would have big areas going dark, and nothing's going dark. They're not losing power.
Yeah.
Obviously not.
That's incredible. So Gene, what do you see coming in the next few months heading into December, January? Do you see a cyber blackout, complete blackout?
It'll depend on what the cabal tries to do. You're looking literally at a 5D 60 chess game, where moves are being made that cause counter moves, and moves actually, they have ability to do moves in the past to change the present and the future. So you're having moves on both sides like that, where you have technology to where the only thing the cabal has left, because they don't have the time travel technology they used to do, they're using necromancy, where they cause a person that they contact through necromancy to change something they did when they were alive in the past. So they're trying to change the timeline so that they win. It's not possible. That's why they took apart the looking glass technology, and the Alliance got it because they deassembled it and removed the parts all over the world, and the Alliance found out where they were and reassembled it. And so they still have remote viewers, and they're using that, but their remote viewers don't see anything different than the looking glass did, which is that for them, come the year 2045 on their Earth, there's nothing left. There is nothing for them. They don't exist after that time frame. The reason they can't see past that is they don't exist.
Or die. This is do or die. This is it. This is the final game right here.
Now, it's like 107. We're playing Casino Royale for the Earth. This is their last card, though. This bioweapon is their last card. They've been warned. Anything else, that's it. This is out and running. And so people wake up, they get protocols, or whatever happens, depends on the timeline and how you focus, and how much people wake up and all of that. But they're down to the last card, and it's an amazing chess game in which, or like a card game, when you get their cards when they lose. And so we keep getting their chess pieces. And so they're getting some flip paths as well, but the majority are going the other way. They're betraying each other because rats.
Hello, Patriots. I just wanted to say thank you to all of those who've been supporting my channel. I really do appreciate it. I couldn't do it without you. And I have a new payment platform called Stripe if you are interested in supporting the channel with a donation. And thank you again, and I'll see you on the next video, and I'll see you on the next video, and I'll see you on the next video, and I'll see you on the next video.